very important topic in biology, which is independent organisms. What are the independent organisms? Independent organisms, these organisms here survive on their own. Okay, examples of these independent organisms, starting from the lower organisms, we have them as Amoeba proteus, Paramecium, Chlamydomonas, Euglena, okay, and rest of them. So today we're going to look at some important features that enable these organisms to survive on their own. That's why we are regarding them as the organism that exhibit all the characteristics of living things and survive on their own. Examples of these organisms, examples, we have Amoeba, Paramecium. These are the examples of these unicellular independent organisms. Okay, as I said, these organisms exhibit all the characteristics of living things, which include the movement, respiration, nutrition, reproduction, excretion, and so on. And the examples we have them as Amoeba, Paramecium, Euglena, Chlamydomonas, and Spirogyra. So we still have some other examples, but today we are going to look at the structures found in these organisms that enable them to survive. Okay, we are going to look at the structures and we are going to relate the structures to their functions. Okay, number one is Amoeba. The name is Amoeba proteus. That is the scientific name, Amoeba proteus. This young guy on the white board here, it can have any shape. Amoeba, as we know, is shapeless. Alright? It possesses the nucleus. And keep in mind, Amoeba is eukaryotic. Amoeba is eukaryotic. This means they possess nuclear membranes surrounding their nucleus. Okay? So at every nucleus of Amoeba, we have this part here called the nuclear. This is the nuclear membrane. This helps to pack the content of the nucleus together, okay? And the organisms that possess this nuclear membrane, they are said to be eukaryotic organisms, okay? And the cells that possess the nuclear membrane, these cells are known as eukaryotic cells. You can also call the organisms with nuclear membrane as organisms with organized nucleus or organism with organized DNA, because all the components of the nucleus, like the chromatin thread, the chromosome, and the DNA, they are well packed inside the nucleus of the cells. Okay, and this Amoeba here also possesses the mitochondria. This mitochondria in Amoeba, this guy here is the site for cellular respiration. We have it here as the mitochondria. Okay, this is also known as the powerhouse. Okay, mitochondria here is the site for cellular respiration. Okay, this is where energy is produced in Amoeba in form of adenosine triphosphate. This is a chemical energy the body utilizes for metabolism. Okay, and also keep in mind that every cells in the body stores energy in form of adenosine triphosphate, popularly known as ATP. Okay, then the Amoeba here possesses this structure here. This is known as the pseudopodia. Alright, but before the pseudopodia, we have another structure inside that forms this pseudopodia in every Amoeba. This guy here forms the pseudopodia in Amoeba. Right? This guy is known as the ectoplasm. Ectoplasm here is responsible for formation of the pseudopodia. Alright? It also helps to protect the content of the cytoplasm. This part of the cell is known as the cytoplasm. The liquid structures in the cells found outside the nucleus. This is the liquid found in the cell, but outside the nucleus we regard the fluid as the cytoplasm. Alright? The ectoplasm here protects the internal organelles, the entire organelles of the cells, and is also responsible for formation of the pseudopodia. Please take note of this. Most of the unicellular organisms that possesses the pseudopodia, they are also known as sarcodina, and the unicellular organisms that possess pseudopodia for locomotion. Okay. Now, what are the functions of the pseudopodia? The pseudopodia here, the major function is that it is used for movement. Sarcodina, like Amoeba, uses pseudopodia for movement, and is also used for feeding, because Amoeba here feeds by means called engulfing. The cell membrane here, right? And this is what we regard as engulfing, the process of pinocytosis or exocytosis. These are the means by which materials get into the cells and out of the cells. Alright? So here, Amoeba here, one of the features, Amoeba feed by engulfing. Alright? Other cells that feed by this means of engulfing is the monocyte. You know, monocyte as a non-granulocyte of the white blood cells, they also feed the antibodies that affect the body or the cells by this means of engulfing. You get? So that's how they feed on the antibody that affect the body, the cells. Alright? Then this guy here, the Amoeba, how do they reproduce? Amoeba is used by binary fission. Okay? They reproduce by binary fissions, and they feed by engulfing. Okay? This guy here, the mitochondria, is used for producing energy in the cells. This is for cellular respiration, where energy is produced and stored in form of adenosine triphosphate. Okay? So that's all for now we have about the Amoeba proteus. The next, let's look at Paramecium. Paramecium, alright? This is the shape of Paramecium. Looks like the human foot. This is how Paramecium looks like. Alright? What maintains this shape of Paramecium is this structure here called the pellicle. Pellicle maintains the shape of Paramecium, and this pellicle here is also seen in Euglena. It is the one that is responsible for euglenoid movement in Euglena. Alright? It maintains the shape of the Paramecium. Alright? Then inside here, so all these here are the contents seen in Paramecium. This place here is the oral groove. This is the oral groove. This oral groove here represents the esophagus in man. It is used for ingestion of food. Oral groove used for food ingestion. Secondly, this part here, this is the gullet. The gullet is used also for food injection. This is food. Okay. Alright. Then this part here, this is anterior contractile vacuole. This is anterior contractile vacuole. Anterior contractile vacuole is used for osmoregulation. This is used for osmoregulation, maintenance of the constant equilibrium of water, salt, and sugar. Alright? The same applicable for this, but this guy here, this is the posterior. This is posterior. Nucleus. Meganucleus. We can call it macro. Can call this guy the macronucleus. Okay? Macronucleus here, just as the nucleus in other cells, controls all the cellular activities of the cells. Alright? Then the next is the micronucleus here. This micronucleus here is concerned with reproduction. Okay? It regulates and controls all the reproductive activities. Alright? Controls reproductive activities. Alright? This is the mitochondria. Of course, every part of the cell called the mitochondria is used for production of chemical energy in form of adenosine triphosphate, just as we discussed in Amoeba. Alright, this is the site for cellular respiration. Okay, then here in every paramecium, Amoeba move by means of pseudopodia, right? The paramecium here, they possess this structure here we have on the board attached to the pellicle. This is called the cilia. Alright, this is the cilia used for locomotion. Alright, just as sarcodina, every unicellular organism that possesses cilia for locomotion, they are called the ciliofora. Those unicellular organisms that move by the means of cilia, they are regarded as the ciliofora. Alright, so this structure here, this is known as cilia. As pseudopodia, cilia is used for locomotion. Alright, then here we have trichocysts. At this part, this is the anterior part, we have trichocysts. This is the trichocyst. Okay, the trichocyst here is used for trapping prey, and is also used for offense and defense. Alright, so all these are the functions of some of the organelles found in Paramecium. Just as I said, the pellicle here maintains the shape. This pellicle maintains the shape of the Paramecium, which is the foot shape of the Paramecium. Alright, on that pellicle we have cilia attached to it. The cilia is used for locomotion. At the anterior end of the Paramecium we have the trichocyst, which is used for trapping prey for feeding. Alright, it's also used for offense and defense. Then next to it we have the contractile vacuole. We have two contractile vacuole. This is the anterior contractile vacuole, and this is the posterior contractile vacuole. Alright, this contractile vacuole here is used for osmoregulation. Alright, in maintaining the equilibrium constant of water sugar, and salt. The oral groove and the gullet is used for ingestion of food for feeding. Alright, the meganucleus here is used to control all the cellular activities of the cell, just as seen in other cells. Alright, this micronucleus cell controls reproductive activities. Okay, so the next we're going to look at now is euglena.